Hello, welcome to the Untold Conversations, Raw and Real, the podcast where we go beyond the perfect picture into the stories that truly matter. I'm your host, Margarita Alex, life coach and public speaker. And today I have an amazing guest who is an award-winning serial interpreter, angel investor, and strategic partner dedicated to forging impactful connections and building lasting legacies. Her name is Katerina Hayes. Welcome to my podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much, Margarita, to having me. Thank you.
Thank you. I am so intrigued by our today's conversation. I know that you have an amazing background. I know that you've been through different businesses, different industries, multiple countries, lots of life experiences, and today you are doing something highly impactful, and I would like to discover a bit more of every single part of that.
Yeah.
So let's start with your personal and early resilience building story. I know that you worked in oil and gas industry. I know it is a tough industry, not just by word, because my fiance is actually working oil and gas, and he told me that women are very few and just recently. But I also know that you've been in that industry a long time ago. So I wanted to ask how did you navigate in that male-dominant industry, and what helped you to success that time?
Sure. Thank you so much for asking. When I'm going to kind of on the beginning of my journey, how I end up to working for oil and gas industry, it was 2004, 2005. I discovered when I moved from Ukraine to Sakhalin Island. That time I haven't seen my dad for 7 years, and it was like a reunion for me. It was a very important time in my life where it's like haven't seen my dad, tried to navigate a new country, new culture, and happened to be that I was homeless because I had huge fallout with my stepmom, and basically I just took my things and just left, and my dad closed the door behind me, and I kind of had few friends who I could ask for help that time. So during that time I was working as the marketing PR and marketing manager for one of the publishing company, and I basically had to sleep in my office.
Wow.
And I had all my things behind my desk, and then I thought, okay, I need to find a job that at least can pay my stay, give me food, and I can make money. And this is how I discovered oil and gas jobs up north of Sakhalin Island. So I would say at that time it requires education, technical preferably. I haven't had one. English language, I barely spoke any English, I would say. And obviously experience, which is in oil and gas, which is I haven't. So I kind of asked some of my friends, and that time I had very a key people who, when you meet in people in the right time, in the right moment, and who really want to help. So I kind of made my CV, which is kind of tried to put all the experience what I had, which is it wasn't much, but I was so desperate. It's not just desperate. I knew that, okay, I have only plan A. That's it.
Yeah, no backup.
So there is no plan B. And somehow I annoyed people who already worked in oil and gas industry, and we just meeting in the social places, cafes or bars, and I would just could you please just speak to me? Speak to me, could you please correct me, if I speak,
the technical part,
the technical
parts,
of everything. It wasn't that technical at the moment, just kind of, conversational. And then I got I applied for one of the first jobs that allowed me to is completely changed the way of my life, I would say. And it was position for secretary interpreter for horizontal direct drilling.
Oh
So
my God, that sounds like
for
nothing that I would understand.
for the German company, and they drilled 2 pipes across the Chiva Bay somewhere in the up north of Sakhalin Island, which is I had no idea, like drilling what, like drill something, you know. And when we come to actual interview, and I'm so grateful to Albert, who was head of the interpreter department. And I said, like, look, give me a month. I will speak. I will I will like do everything to make sure that I will be speaking. I will be translating reports. Like, just give me a chance, basically, because I have no place to go. Like, I'm desperate. I'm desperate for this job. Somehow I convinced him, and of course he tested my English, and it was nothing that he required, because I had to work with drilling team of Germans who no one speaks Russian, and I had to translate all the very technical safety reports from Russian to English and English to Russian. And it was pre-Google time, right? So we
So no chance.
so was no like like I had vocabulary
Dictionaries,
dictionary.
yes.
Yeah, I had
Book dictionaries.
yes.
Yeah, the Oxford Dictionary.
So this is how I got into oil and gas, and then I had other like deeper stories of kind of within the month I able to, like, I don't know how they didn't fire me after the first week, but I had determination. I worked like maybe 20 hours a day. So I work from 7 to 7, and from 7 till 1 o'clock probably I would annoy drilling team to explain me, what is this? What are you doing? And my project manager, he is Karsten Fischbach, thank you so much, who not just explained, but he actually had faith in me. He had, he saw my dedication to learn more. And every time I would say, okay, could you please explain me? He knew Russian. He never spoke Russian to me.
Oh, yeah.
So, but
He was a good teacher then.
And we would be every day, he would explain me drawings on the horizontal direct drilling. Mm-hmm. And he will like, do you understand? I'm like, nope. Okay, once again. And it's repetition. And I would say that I thought my brain will explode, but I just tried to kind of, really put as much information as possible, because I didn't give myself a chance to. It's not about failing. It's about I want to make sure that I did everything what I could with what I had. Wow. And this is kind of probably really helped me to go through everything else in my life. And then after, it was sexual harassment from my Russian boss, which I was 17 years old, and he was 55. And he said, to keep the job, you have to sleep with me. And we lived in the same house. And I was devastated. I was trying to spend as much as possible at work. And I would run to my room closet, and I would be just, when he tried to knock and like, I need to speak to you, I'm like, nope, I'm sleeping out till the morning. And I just tried to just escape somehow. But it was month of devastation. And then, of course, he found a way to get rid of me after 1 month. And I was heartbroken. Like, everyone knew, and this is where, like, that time everyone knew what's going on, that obviously I declined.
Yeah, I mean, it was different times, no? And also I think like when you back in the days, it was not that open, all these topics. And as you said, like if you try to keep your job or you try to get forward into your life, you didn't want to get into any mess possible. You try to look forward into new projects, and yeah, so that's like very tough stories and very tough experience. And I also wanted to ask you about something that me personally I went through when I was working in VIP events with Volkswagen Group. We worked maybe like 10 years ago back in Spain. Um, so basically, I was managing teams of up to 40 people. But every time I would step out and be like in a nice suit with my nice hair tie, hair dress, and they would say, oh, they would treat me just like a beautiful doll. Like I would get that stereotype that I'm just pretty and I'm just there to be pretty, like a nice hostess. And there was nothing behind that. Meanwhile, I had 40 people to manage, and it was all staff, and it was like highly stressed because there were like 3 to 4 days corporate events or like VIP events on the Formula One racetrack. So I had to fight internally with this thing, like I'm so capable, and people, my bosses are trusting me with these things, with that responsibility. However, the client does not, or the people who are attending the event don't see me as per who I am and my capabilities. So my question to you, did you face any of this stereotyping approach when you were in the male dominant industries, or if you still do it today?
Actually, I was very lucky because, later on I progressed. I was so lucky to have people around me. Nevertheless, yes, it's very highly male-dominated industry, but there is the people who understand what it takes to be engineer, what it takes to be, actually working and sometimes sacrificing time with your loved ones, because we work like 10 weeks on the remote sites. We build projects from the ground up. And one of the companies, and I think the team what I had it is, of course, this is existing, yes. Like I'm not denying. And there is the element of the proof constantly that you are belong, that you are capable, and etc. But at the same time, there is amazing people around. And what I had pleasure working with the Wagner's groups. So they are Australian company. And the John Watt, he actually had hunted me, and he said, like, can you work for us? So there was no any question. And he was general director on the project. And he will like come over, and basically I had opportunity to do so many things what I wanted around for the company, but also if anything extra I wanted to know, they allow me to go and handle it. So I was like, got my hands through all departments, built connections, created impact for the company, of course. And I had at my early stages when I tried to translate in the meetings, and I had this American guy came over to me. He said, and it was one of the health and safety manager from Exxon, and he said, I'm so impressed and I so respect you for that you are trying to, even like the way you just try to speak different language, which is, he said, I come to Russia, I don't speak language, and you trying your best, and I can see that you're worried. But he said, like, look, there is that human element is always there, no matter what industries you're at. And I think come to the question where, yes, there is probably in male-dominated jobs, there is more expectations, because for guys, it would be like, okay, because they've been through training, they've been through apprenticeship. I had completely different story. I had to actually self-taught myself at some point and taking completely more difficult route, but I hacked the system and
We know how to do that. You have to be smart.
and find the ways to actually still build my reputation, build my knowledge, and able to work in offshore maintenance, commissioning with a team of like 150 guys, and I would be myself in for the full oil and gas rig. Nevertheless, but I never had someone told me like I'm not capable. I think I had amazing people around me who respect me, who helped me, and who believed in me, and I did the same for other people.
Yeah, it resonates with me as well, because going back to my story, when I worked in these events, I was just 22, 23. So I was so young, and I had people who were like almost 30 working below me and had to, talk to me and to accept me as a leader or as a team manager, right? But as you said, like once we feel that someone sees our potential, sees the way that we want to work, we want to learn, we want to understand, and we want to have an impact on a certain project. And when someone gives you a chance, and I start to have goosebumps that you always, it's like this movie, that you give back the favor, not give back, give forward. That you've seen it all on yourself, you've tried it on yourself, and you are giving it forward to people who you see the potential. And maybe technically or on the surface, they should not have a chance, but they do have a chance because once you did that, right?
Absolutely. And actually, you put it very well together because, pay forward is so important mantra, like, the philosophy to have and the attitude. Because I remember I even had my family, like haven't had my family to help me. I had random people who just by magic, I don't know, it's like, blessing, they came from the middle of nowhere and they were there for me. And every time I have these, people coming to me just in my space, I remember that how I can contribute to your success. And I think that part is make me really better leader, but at the same time, better human being in terms of I shall not forget where I came from. I had to really, remind myself that I've been so many situations in my life.
She's making me cry.
Situations in my life that random people, and I want to be that, in somebody's lives. I would like to make the difference as well. And I think is so important to pay forward to people, believe in them if you resonate with the mission, vision. And it's just sometimes that talk, that, conversation, that, contact, extra information that really help to change somebody's life. I think it's really, really powerful. And sometimes people, may be taken for granted, but I try to concentrate only on those, we are not responsible for other people. We're responsible for ourselves and how we, what we do with our lives, and there will be always people who will judge. There will be always people who will bring other people down. And I think concentrating on yourself and your journey and surround yourself with people who resonate the same as you are is important. And don't spend or waste your time to think what other people actually, it's up to them. It's between them and God. And, it's nothing what you can do. What you can do is just leading by your example and just be true to yourself. And and show things that is possible. So I think I'm sure that you inspired during your journey. I'm sure that you're inspired at such a young age, and your boss putting you there for a reason, because he saw something in you that you're able to and capable to deliver. And right now we have this generation of people who don't underestimate young people of 2018, etc. So I'm actually trying to always put myself in like student, like a lifelong student. I can learn from my daughter. She's an amazing teacher. I can learn from other people who are much younger than me, because they see that maybe different, and I want to kind of not because I lived the life and had this experience, that's it, like life is cool. No, it's all about being receptive to other people's universes, how they see things through their eyes. And I think this is also powerful because you constantly evolve, and you also like your people, your tribe become your great teachers as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I also started modeling when I was very young. So when I was 15, already in school, 16, I was already on the shows. I was surrounded by international people with different background, different culture, different nationality, different skin color, different age. So that is expanding your mind in a way that you could never learn at school.
Yeah.
And I think that is what makes us the citizens of the world, and that is what makes us a cosmopolite people. And that's why I feel like whenever I meet someone here in Dubai, especially, I feel like the Dubai is connecting these cosmopolite people, open-minded people. I feel like we have so much to learn about each other, and this is this space about learning about, as you said, someone else's perspective. And this is one of the reasons I also started my podcast, because I wanted to hear the stories and the perspective and the point of view of different people who I do resonate with. Because obviously, as you said, some people don't resonate, some people do, and you have to keep to those who are vibrating on the same frequency as your soul, right? And you just mentioned your daughter. I know you're a mom of two. And I also know that in your second pregnancy, there was a difficult moment for you, because I know that the father of your child passed away a while you were pregnant. So for someone who is, planning to become a mom, just the idea of it makes me freeze. And I see you today, I see you smiling, I see you successful. So I wanted to ask you, how did that situation of losing the father of your child while being pregnant affected you, and how did you overcome that fear, and how did you took the decision to go forward and to go forward strong, because I know that you did not stop.
Yes. So I find out that after I had my first son, and unfortunately, maybe actually right now I'm grateful that what happened, it happened. That with my ex-husband, we kind of drifted apart. There is, we probably meant to have this amazing son, and I'm forever grateful for my ex-husband for all support that he provided. And actually, I learned quite a lot about myself. And I was after I had my first son, I was in biological depression for almost 6 years until I give a birth to my daughter. So they have completely, my son and daughter have completely different fathers, and I knew that I will raise my daughter myself. And there is the some story, and the reality is that I didn't plan her. Like, it wasn't a plan. So I don't know, like in the Middle East, we say Alhamdulillah. I'm really grateful to have her. But yes, it was devastating time where I knew that I would have to give a birth, and I don't have anyone to really not just help me, like to really support me. And I know that Sophia's dad wouldn't be there at all. And I would say that I don't have regrets to not have him in Sophia's life. But I do grateful to my ex-husband that he actually stepped in the few years where I was, having a birth, and so his family helped me a lot. And even though we had, very, I would say, not the best relationship, but I deeply respect that what he did. He been there. He been there for me. And it was scary. It was devastating. I had to, everyone was telling me just do abortion. Like, why do you need this child without the father? Yeah. And what are you doing? My mom, she's like, what is this? Just do abortion. And I knew that I wouldn't be able to live with this because previously I had ectopic pregnancy. I had my tube removed. It was a devastating time in my first probably marriage, and I didn't know, like, I had depression. Apparently, I didn't know what's going on. I lived in the nightmare.
And you thought that was just okay. That was what it is.
Because, people who going through depression, it's very hard to say, or you are depressed, or do this and this and this. No, you live in. I think there was like a movie where, what his name, Robert Williams. He died. He got he actually died from suicide, and so there is the movie where his wife getting into the afterlife, and she like live in that very dark, reality. And he tried to save her, so he goes to afterlife and he tried to bring her from the hell. And this is like how I've actually felt, that I lived in the hell, because I tried to find myself and I couldn't find myself. I couldn't understand, like, I do everything, it's never enough. And I've been living in very dark place where I haven't had a faith, I haven't had base, I haven't had opportunity to look at myself and reflect. It's been something wrong, but you don't understand the wrong, but you know that it's not the life that you have to live in. And everything changed when I gave a birth of Sophia. A second, it's like you're waking up and you can breathe, and suddenly you see the colors. Suddenly you feel, it's like just your lungs filled with air. You can feel, you can hear. Suddenly everything becomes so sharp, and you feel like you've been sleeping.
Yeah,
sleeping for 6 years without even knowing it. Yeah. So that one, it was like very, very like.
So she saved you.
She did, and and until now she's my best teacher. Yeah.
So thank you for sharing your very personal stories. It's highly inspiring. I'm starting to cry every other minute of listening you. Let's shift a bit to the more of your experience part. I know that you started multiple businesses, and you also have you hold some patterns that you let's say won, right? Won within
it was awards.
Awards. Yes. So when someone creates just one business or gets one pattern, I understand that. But you've been creating multiple businesses. You've launched multiple projects. How do you keep creating? What is it that does not stop you?
It's curse and blessing at the same time, because it's interesting that I always had entrepreneurship mindset, and it's killing me, because a lot of ideas that I didn't know what to do with them. And during my work in oil and gas, I able to invest some money into business. And then 2020 is where I decided, that's it, like I have to cut the cord and just go full on to build the business. And that time it was deep tech, cleaning water from nanomicroplastic. And didn't really work well because I haven't had enough experience at the time. But I had amazing team, and I stamped into £8 million proceed before even like we could get our product to market fit. Like it's and we needed around maybe 4 years to work on the technology. And I'm like, okay, can I do something easier? And this is how I launched production of fermented food, naked kimchi. And with naked kimchi, I just went like, okay, what can I do? So I scaled business from and designed the production from my kitchen table at home to 150 square meters production unit, and I able to transfer my engineering skills into actually setting up the production, like a food production facility. Won awards, multiple. I thought like, okay, is it possible? Let's show the universe, that is possible. Is like I can achieve this, and everything that I put in my list, I did achieve, and use that experience to okay, what's next? This is kind of I got into investment as well.
Great. Well, that's a very inspiring story from the kitchen to this multidimensional things, and especially when you can use your knowledge to do something. And it's like an excitement project for you, know, also to prove yourself that you can do that, you can go through that.
Yes, and it was very, very. During that time, I also launched a social enterprise, rebuilding refugee lives, because it happened that I had to move my mom, my cousin from Ukraine. It was war, unfortunately. My dad in Russia, my other family in Ukraine. It was devastating time for us. And actually, I had my identity crisis for some time. But in the same time, I found the superpower because I worked for the two businesses in the same time. I excelled greatly. And I understood that actually the superpower of make impact in somebody else's lives, I never knew that I could. So that kind of situation, like I was probably working 24/7 on the both businesses, try to employ people in my kind of kimchi business, and in same time run social enterprise to train and find the jobs for women refugees, and then kind of is expanded to different services in beauty. It was like pivoted into the salon where Ukrainian ladies would able to rent a place and make a earning.
Thank you so much for giving them opportunity and supporting our community, because I'm also, my roots are from Ukraine, and I think when all the war situation happened, we somehow, even being abroad or being far away, we tried to help as much as we could. And I remember even for me, I was here in Dubai, and I was trying to figure out how can I help not only my direct family, of course, who took the decision to stay and not to go away with all the rights that they had, but also like all the friends' families and all the people I knew. And it happened, that we are on the west side of the country, so somehow whoever was transiting, we could help them, to host them, to keep an eye on them, and to give them a hand. And I think that's maybe an insignificant as it can seem among all the big things that were done, but for someone that just one gesture saved a day, a life, or just not going into a deep depression because of what's happening. So thank you so much for support. And my next question would be about investing. I know that once you join the investor community, your perception about business also shifts. So I would like you to explain a bit more how, for you, joining this investor community helped you to do your business better, or even shape your vision of doing business itself.
Yeah. I'm so grateful people and ecosystem that we had. I spent 17, almost 15, 16 years in Scotland, and we had very unique, I would say, ecosystem and community where there is a lot of programs for people to succeed. And I think it's only lazy people don't do business. And I thought, like, all these opportunities is there. And I'm always was looking for, okay, what I can learn, what I can get myself into. And government support was amazing. And one of the initiatives is where women came together Gillian Fleming. So she worked in the kind of VC fund space in one of the universities. And then she decided to create this angel investment syndicate because she already did quite a lot of deals and investment. And this is how Mint Venture was born. She brought together all ambitious giving women with excessive capital, mostly professional, and had this initiative to give them training how to become investors and what to look for. So this is how one of the, I would say, on my journey that time, working under my Founders Club, Naked Kimchi, I did actually multiple things in the parallel, because one thing I knew strategically, I'm going to enter Middle East market. So I started to work 4 years ahead. And then in the same time, I was building my business in UK. And I knew that, okay, this is the investment scene. Like, how I able to even be somehow not just related to it, but what like for me, investor, it was something that not accessible. Like I had to earn like millions, but how do you make millions if you couldn't be an investor? So I had this dilemma in my head. And then one evening it was attending one of the events for entrepreneurs, but apparently it was also for investors 1 hour before. I just invited myself, and I end up in the round table of women who already comes from generational wealth, some women who went through the trainings and got themselves as a certified angel investor, sophisticated investor. Because in UK there is quite, there is legislation. Not everyone can be investor, and it's regulated. And to invest in businesses also need to be certified. It's called assurance certification, CAS, AIS, that allow investor to get their tax back by investing in other businesses. So I think it was, amazing initiative. However, we only had, quite small amount of women who are actually investors. And usually it's like very dominated scene that only men have this access to invest. And for the best deals or even understanding or having experience, unless you come from family office or generational wealth. So I think that part, it was something not always not accessible. But that time is completely changed all my perception. And I'm like, really, can you do this? And yeah, and I'm like, I joined, I went through the program, and I still, till now, learning more about investment. But it's definitely made me best. I wouldn't say best, I would better founder, because you need to understand mindset of the investors if you're going to raise your funds for your startup, to understand what kind of types of investors are there, which one is best for you, and so on, so on, so on. So I would say 100% you need to think as investor to be better founder.
Wow, that's a very impactful thought. And before talking to you, I had never thought about it that way, right? Because as you say, if you're building a business and if you want to, it's better to know in advance everything that you will need, let's say in a year time or a couple of years time, whenever you will need your investments, rather than not knowing it. And once you want it, you realize that you don't have everything that they ask for. So that's a great perspective. And I also want to point out that you said I auto-invited myself to this table. And
You have to invite yourself. Like
Yes.
there is no, like, don't take no for an answer ever.
Yes, and it's
Ever.
about spotting opportunities. I always say this to all the people around me. I always say this to myself. I always say to my clients, like, if you see an opportunity, do not lose it, do not miss it, because it will be gone and you will regret. And the universe puts the opportunities for us on the plate to see, are you ready to take this? Sometimes we are asking universe for some big projects, and then the universe puts an opportunity, and I'm again having goosebumps, and then you say, no, I'm not ready. But then you complain to the universe that you don't
Exactly.
have the result.
Exactly.
And the universe is looking at you as like, girl, it was there. You didn't take it. You're not ready yet.
It's like, I love this. One of them, it's like, do you want a cake? No, I want to. So I think so
Yes.
it's about, and again, it's sometimes we can't change people's mindset. It takes time, but also it takes, that kind of community. You like surround yourself with people who achieved more than you, and be comfortable with it. And I think this is where consistent growth will come. It's that surrounding yourself with people who achieve more than you, and they see and try to see through their eyes. And yes, invite yourself. Like, just sometimes you just walk in. You're not invited, but you just been
Walking
there.
as you've been. Yes, and I also I totally agree with the fact that you said that we have to surround ourselves with people who achieved more than us. I personally believe that the energy, our energy goes up and goes down, and by that I mean that we want to surround ourselves with people who achieved higher, meaning that we will look up to them, right? And also at the same time, we want and we need to be teachers to someone. So our energy will go down to someone who is slightly lower on the level of achievements. So often people think, oh, why would I go and sit with these people who achieved that much? They will think I'm no one. But people keep forgetting that they also want to be teachers. They also want to pass that information. They want to share their experience. And that is not only an ego boost, which is, and like a confirmation of what you've achieved, but it is also, if we believe in the universe and paying forward, it is also a way to thank the universe to give you the opportunity where you are. So we should not miss that opportunity to auto-invite ourselves to somewhere where the environment is much higher than we are. And as you said, that's where the community growth will be and your personal growth will be. And I know that today you are oriented into educate women on how to become investors. You want to grow female community to understand and to be capable, because we are more than capable, right? It is historically that the industry is a male predominantly, but today women have financial capability, women have educational capability, women have logistical capability to become investors, business owners, entrepreneurs, and but there is also, as we spoke earlier with you when we had a call, that we have slightly a different approach. And sometimes there is a misconception about the fact that because women are more risk averse, they are not capable to be investors. And I would like you to break this misconception and to tell me a little bit more about how we are capable and what makes us different.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it's like multidimensional. Actually, women are always had huge buying power. if you think about, all this feminism, let's say, some of them like probably too extreme. But actually, if we go back to history, women are always were responsible of managing, keeping family, and majority of decisions were made by women. Actually, the more we're going to think about that women don't had this something, actually, let's concentrate on what actually women have.
Yeah.
And I believe that women are built empires, and they have they are changed the histories, and they knew the strength. And I think if women will be concentrating on their own strength, because each and everyone have their own unique perspective, experience, and yes, majority of women are risk averse, and this is down to our nature of the nurturing into keeping families, communities together. Responsible for communication is important. Otherwise, thousands of years ago, somebody can eat you or eat your, bison that your man brought to the cave, or you simply couldn't survive in the community. So I think it's all about knowing the strength and act upon it from the place of the strength. And learning, yes, there is, men are more risk averse, they are, not risk averse, they are more risk takers.
Yes.
For reasons, but there is also a lot of women are risk takers too. And I think it's finding the way what is works for you the best, because investment in general, what is it? It's not just, yes, there is the risk everywhere. Like you can lose your money, you can lose, but don't invest money that you're not ready to lose.
Yes, absolutely.
So to understanding how the mindset works first, maybe it's not for you, and that's fine. However, each women who become angel investor are creating an opportunity to become a leader and advisory board. And now we have statistics, only 6% in the world women who are on advisory boards. What does it mean? It means that decisions that is made on the higher level are not diverse or equal. So majority of the decisions is made by men, but not by women. So by learning about investment, becoming advisory board, we bridging that gap to educating women how to become board directors, or they called NED, a non-executive director, to help companies to make better decisions and really have that inclusion and diversity as we speak. Because without that equality on the boards, directors, you're not able to have, it could be just bias,
bias to one side, because I also feel like obviously there are more women on the working market, but as you said, on the high boards, there are not enough women. So basically, it is all bias, and there is only one way of seeing, the how you maneuver and how you manage your business. But also, if we, as you said, if we go back in history, like for example, if you've watched the movie Peaky Blinders, it was about after the First World War. Basically, the men went to the war, and the women were left in the household, not with just kids, but the entire household to manage financially.
Yeah.
So during lots of years, women were managing, let's say, the wealth. Before it was money, it was some physical aspects, right? The men were hunters, but the women managed so much that it is a misconception that women have that we don't have the capability to manage wealth.
Yeah.
Huge one. And I think we
absolutely.
do.
I mean, there is definitely lack of education in terms of, again, shifting that mindset and perspective. For some women, they choose not to, and that's fine. It's like for some, but I think raising awareness about what they can do in the global level to actually change policies, creating better environment, because each and every one, and men and women, they do bring unique perspective to different things. And I believe that, complementary to have that, 50-50, like, input into board of director that actually can strengthen the companies, governments, and everything that is we have at the moment economically, because you have just equality. We're not talking about pay rise or all these kind of things, basic things, of course, but actually on the much higher level of understanding how all rights and are met equally.
Yeah.
And I think this is where learning about the investment to understand how to build portfolio, but in the same time, a lot of women who are end investors and founders. So this is where very interesting, because you start to think, okay, I'm a founder, I make a business, so I will have profits. What do I do with that profits? Yes, I pay salary, I reinvest back in the company. However, do you know that you can actually invest while you build your company as well? Instead of going to buying that, a next expensive bag, you can actually invest in somebody else's business collectively through the syndicate and help economy to grow, invest in other women like yourself, contribute with your knowledge and experience and all the lessons that you learned through your experiences that can help make better decision in somebody else's business. So it's that paying forward thing.
Yeah.
So, and then in same time, you're thinking differently. You're thinking, okay, how I can make my money work harder.
Yeah, and I also think, as you said, we women are have this natural instinct of nurturing and thinking safely ahead, thinking about not only us but our children. So I'm just trying to trace a parallel between. All right, so if you think about building, let's say, a legacy for you and your kids, why not implement this in a business way where you can not only be a business entrepreneur or a business owner, but also building that legacy in terms of investments, so it can stay longer, not only for you today, but also for you and your kids tomorrow, right? And when we spoke earlier, that was like the mind-blowing idea for me. It's like, well, if I do care about my kids, I better care about them financially as well. But not only providing them money physically to go to university, but to providing them systems that can support their future and that they can grow like the mushrooms, tuk, tuk, tuk. We call it apята in Russian. Yes. So because also, I come from a family where both of my parents were business oriented. Like in the 90s, I was born in the early 90s. Ukraine just became independent. It was a complete mess. And then my parents had to have a new business every 3 to 4 months because whatever was up to date today and was working and giving money today, in 1 month it was gone. So they had to reinvent themselves and have to adapt. But still, my mom, she's like super entrepreneur mindset. She keeps having these ideas and she wants to make them become true. And she's 56 and this is still in her blood.
Amazing.
And she's trying always, she tried and she keeps trying to put this mindset to me. So whenever I shared with her, hey, I want to start this new project called a podcast. She's like, yes. Okay, how can we improve this? How can we better your offer? Who are you going to invite? So it's exciting. And this is a part of a DNA, I would say, a mindset DNA that she put in me because she was already like that. So how do you think could a change in a money mindset, shift in the money mindset in women, impact the success and the well-being of them and their children in the future?
Yes, so it's interesting that as we invest in ourselves, we actually change the future of our children by default. It's not about tell children and teach them, oh, you have to do this, this, this. Forget it. They're going to look at you and they're going to do exactly what you do. It's not what you say. And I stopped even having a thought that I have to teach my daughter or my son to do this, do that. My son, when he was 12 years old, he had his first business, right? And his first business, he said, Mom, and he created a landing page, which is, I never knew that he actually could. And he created this wallet, like a car wash service in his neighborhood that could be accessible through QR code. And he said that he made a deal with his uncle for 30% of his profits goes back to renting his equipment. So, and he and his brother basically was renting equipment from the uncle to wash cars in the neighborhood and make money.
Wow.
Then
and this at what age?
12. Yeah. And
that's
then
an entrepreneurship
and then he had
DNA.
But again, he saw me and he said, Mom, and he had this, he was around 13 years old. He said, Mom, by the age of 17, I want to be a millionaire and I want to make sure that you are sound and I see how you're working hard and you're going through a lot of challenges, because at some point of my entrepreneurship journey, I was homeless. I was a single mom of two. I lost everything. I reinvested in business, and then all sorts of things happened. And at some point, I had no place to go, but I had my production unit where I had a sofa and I sleep in the sofa with my daughter and making sounds like an adventure. And she saw that as well. And she told me she has always been my business partner. I always treated my children, and I had this idea. I want them to have conversation about the business and normalize it that, oh, you're little, don't do this or don't do that. I always spoke with them. I asked for their advice, of their opinion. Since my son was 10 years old, my daughter was 4. They have 6 years difference. And we always had because they were also my shareholders in the company. Because I knew if I opened the company, I put them as a shareholder, they had 25%. I had to make myself 51%, but they had this 49% split between them, and they have decision in the company. Wow. So I want them to understand that, you know what, you are the part of the company. And at some point, my son said, that really made me cry. He said, Mom, I would like to sell my shares to you because I feel like I'm not contributing enough to the company growth.
Wow.
And he was 12, 13 years old. And I'm like, maybe I do something right. Definitely. And my daughter, she always been with me because I haven't had a chance to have a babysitter. But I didn't want to. I want her to actually experience the, I would say, environment that I've been in. I was pitching. I was going to different events. And she grew up in the mindset of, I can speak directly to people. Doesn't matter how old they are. I'm the same. Like, if that person can do it, so I can do it. So it's all about lead by example. You don't need to teach and tell your children, do this. It's not about that. It's about get them to like stimulate the growth of the next generation of the entrepreneurship, include them, take them to your meetings, take them to your, normalize, because now also we have huge change of the way how women work as well, because we have to take care of children, we have to do business. Some people, some women decide to do that, and that's fine. Some not, and that's fine too. So I would say that, it's interesting dynamic, and I'm so proud of my children because I see them as equal contributors. And now my daughter created her business. In 5 minutes, she said, "Mom, you know what? She know exactly what she want to do." And she said, "My first business at she's 9 years old. She created presentation, dog walking, because I love dogs. We got your back if you can't walk your dogs." She created a presentation and she showed me, and she did quickly in Canva. And I'm like, that's it. This is MVP. And she said, "I'll go in around the neighborhood and ask where, and I will meet the dog first to make sure that this dog is comfortable, what kind of diet that dog have. And then I'm going to collect, and I think I'm going to charge £5 an hour." I'm like, okay, Mom, but you're going to help me with this? I'm like, of course, yes, I do.
Wow, that's remarkable. I think I wish every parent could approach their kids raising like that. But I think with your example today, women who listen to us, they can definitely get inspired and see that that is possible, and they will be growing a generation of investors and entrepreneurs. And because we are going to the end of our interview, for someone who is thinking about starting to invest, what would be the 3-4 things that you would recommend to do first?
Find community who, syndicate, angel investment syndicate around, like it should be somewhere around you. You can search online and find how you can join events around investment. Surround yourself with people who already invested. And you can also sign up to our program to learn about the mindset, but also how to get into investment, invest in other people, businesses.
That's very interesting. And before recording, you were telling me that you launched your own community programs now about what type of business you should have, what type of partner you should have, what type of investor you should look for, right? So all these little things that for someone who does not understand, like me, has no clue, no idea, instead of going solo, because it is scared. It's scared to go solo and say, okay, hi, my name is Margarita. I want to be an investor without knowing anything. So for me, as a potential customer, I would like to be prepared, and I would like to come to someone who can explain me how the entire ecosystem works, so that I know exactly where I stand, what do I need, and who do I need for that. And I believe that is something that you offer.
Absolutely. It's where you can have safe space. There is important part where raising awareness what this investment is. There is the different types of investment. We specifically look at investing in other people's businesses and how to look if they're investable or not investable, and do like a due diligence. But in same time, if you're founder and you already have existing business, it also helps you to understand how to build the business that investors want to invest. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of working again in multidimensional, where from the one side we have founders and women, who not yet, but they're thinking to invest, but they don't know where to start. And from another one is like professional women who have some excess capital and they want to contribute to the growth of female-led businesses. So I think this is the amazing opportunity to kind of bridge the gap into women's who invest, but also advisory board. This is also very, very important, because by the getting through the programs of angel investment, you also become that backbone of the businesses who really affect economy, people's lives, and the way all our world shifts. So I think it changed my life, and I want to contribute to other women's shift of the mindset in the positive way.
Yeah, that's a great thing that you're doing. That's a great legacy. And I have a question that I ask to all my guests. If your life was a book, what chapter you would be in right now?
I thought about it. It's like a rebirth, because I had to lose everything and be ready to lose everything and start all over again. So I think this is where chapter for me in Dubai, and the most safest place in the world, I would say, that we live peacefully with each other. And yeah, so I think it's like rebirth. I would say that.
Yeah, that's a very deep chapter. Thank you so much. And the last thing that I also share with my clients and my listeners, I invite you to share with me what you are grateful for today. And let me start with myself also as an example. I am grateful to Dubai to put us together. I am grateful to Alexandra to introduce us. I am so grateful to you to come here today with me. And I'm so grateful to the universe to put us together, because what you say resonates with me. What you do and what you want to do, the impact that you want to have on people's lives, definitely resonates with me. And I'm also grateful to our Arcast guys today that they host us in this beautiful and cozy location. And I'm also grateful to all my family and friends that support me in my project, because I do think it will impact people's life. And thank you so much. And now.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm joining your way of you said about the gratitude, and I'm grateful for all of you. And of course, I think everything happens for a reason. You're not just meeting people by accident. It's have own purpose. Sometimes it could be very painful, but this has been for a reason. And I am grateful to God that all the experiences that I had in my life that led me to the place of faith and ability to positively affect people's lives. And of course, everyone who I meet on my journey, and who touched my heart and who helped and I helped, and my children and my family, of course. And this place, which is called, Dubai. Sometimes I call it Dubaievka.
Dubaievka.
Because it's it's the fusion of cultures, and how it was built. It was remarkable, and the energy and people. You either been accepted or either rejected. So yes, I think it's that
I agree.
High vibration people are here, and I'm so grateful for each and every one who I met. Yes, and thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you.
I'm really grateful for this opportunity to for you to unlock.
Yes, thank you. It was my biggest pleasure today to have you.
Thank you so much.
And I want to thank our listeners as well to join us today. If this story resonated with you, please share. If you know women who are thinking about investing, or they want to understand how it can be possible, or they just want to believe that it is possible, please share to whoever it will resonate with. And please do not forget to follow us, and also leave us a comment, because that makes our community grow and allows stories that need to be heard and to be shared. This was the Untold Conversations, Raw and Real, and your favorite host, Margarita Alex. Thank you.